friends, I am Graham, also known as the Only Sir Cracker. I was about to say, I'm the Only Sir Cracker. Hi friends, I'm Graham, and I am making this special little video because I'm kind of... I don't know how to put it. If I don't do this video right now, I'm afraid that I'll forget about it. And so I just want to do this real quick little video here. What is a homesteader? It's a very good question. I was pondering those words, you know, that question, those words. What is a homesteader? Well, what is a homesteader? Is it someone who owns 20 acres of land and has livestock and has free-range chickens and, you know, preserves every ounce of food that comes on their property, and they're neighbors with the, you know, friends with the neighbors, and they barter, you know, chicken eggs for milk? Is that what a homesteader is? You know, is a homesteader someone who makes their own clothes and you know, thatches their roof? And what is a homesteader? Well, my opinion of a homesteader is more outside the box of that. It's more diverse. You know, the typical, as what is portrayed as a homesteader, is not necessarily what I think a homesteader is. Okay, so a homesteader, in my opinion, doesn't have to have 20 acres. Matter of fact, a homesteader can live in an apartment. Yeah, that sounds a little weird and a little out there, but that's what I believe. I believe a homesteader can live in an apartment. And I don't believe a homesteader has to have chickens and goats and sheep and cows. And I don't believe a homesteader has to be someone who is off-grid either. I also believe that a homesteader can also be a prepper. You know, I believe that the ability for them to store goods and food and things that they acquire is considered prepping. You know, we have this thing that I don't know if it's our society or our entertainment system or what, says that, you know, in order to be a prepper, preppers are people who are out there and they're strange and they stockpile a lot of food for, you know, when doomsday happens and, you know, that kind of thing. And that's not necessarily true either. I think a prepper is someone who puts stuff together for a power outage, or the crop, or they didn't get enough food, or something happened. There's always an emergency that can arise. And so I believe that is what a prepper is someone who saves things up, is prepared for the unknown. It doesn't have to be a doomsday thing. It doesn't have to be, you know, the fan kind of stuff. Stuff hits the fan. It doesn't have to be that. But yeah, I do believe that they go hand in hand. You know, I believe I'm a prepper. I also believe that I'm a homesteader. I don't have chickens. I don't own my own land. But if I had property, those are the things I would do. You know, I make a lot of my own clothes. I make presents and gifts for people. You know, I grow food and I preserve it. I deep water can. I want to get into pressure canning here pretty soon. I dehydrate food. I freeze a lot of stuff, you know, and I have a lot that I do as far as that's concerned as well. I don't know. I get kind of frustrated sometimes because the assumption is that a homesteader is someone who just has all this land, and they get 90 some odd % of their food off the land, or they're off grid, or, in my opinion, that's not a homesteader at all. You know, that's somebody that's really got it going. Actually, I shouldn't say that. Not a homesteader at all. They're definitely a homesteader. And there's a lot of cars driving by today. I'm gonna let this one go on tape. No, I would say they're homesteaders, but that's not the limitation to homesteading. I think you can be a homesteader in a lot of different ways, other than just the typical 20 acres of land and stuff, or more, you know, and having goats and sheep and stuff. I believe I'm a homesteader. I also believe that a lot of people are homesteaders, and they don't really think of themselves as that, or they consider themselves as that. But when I have the potential or the ability, I grow as much food as I can. And if someday I can have a place where I can have chickens, I have chickens. I barter my time, my talent, and my skills with my friends in order to get meat from chickens and to get their eggs. I have 2 friends that we get eggs from, and we do things for them to help them around their property. You know, it's frustrating to me. It's just frustrating. So, what do you think a homesteader is? What do you think a prepper is? And do you think that they can go hand in hand with each other? Do you think they do go hand in hand with each other? So, it's a discussion that I totally would love to sit on a panel with people and discuss what it means to be a homesteader. I think homesteading isn't a cookie cutter thing. I think there's a lot more to it than just what's inside a box that you would typically think a homesteader is. For instance, urban homesteading is a big thing right now. It's getting huge. People live in the middle of the city, and you wouldn't even know they were homesteaders. You know, in their front yard, they'll live in an HOH. In their front yard, they have plants and stuff that are food, but they're not the typical things that you would think of that are food. So people don't, you know, you're not growing peppers and tomatoes and squash and cucumbers and stuff in your front yard. People aren't going to necessarily assume that that's what it is. And when you do forest-style gardening, where you compile a lot of different varieties of food or plants, then it's more like a jungle setting, and nobody can really decide what is and what isn't. So you kind of, and you have to mix in regular stuff with it too to make it look less food-like. Like, for instance, roses, which, by the way, you can eat roses. There's a lot of flowers you can eat. Nasturtiums, matter of fact. You can have nasturtiums growing on the ground and vining all over, and people walk right by it and not even have a clue that those are great. They have wonderful flavor. I love eating nasturtiums, kind of a peppery yumminess to them. So, and then in the backyard, they have their chickens and everything else, but you walk all the way around the house and the backyard's fenced. You have no idea or no clue that they're homesteading. That's a homestead. Even though it's only on, a 1/4 acre of land, it still could be considered a homestead. And yeah, there's just so much diversity to it. And I don't know. So, all right, y'all, I just want to make this a quick little video. Y'all have yourselves a fantastic rest of the day. Please let me know what you think, homesteading is. And, all right. So, I'm Graham, and this has been another one of my videos. Yeah. Bye for now.
Subscribe to the channel. Like, subscribe. Bye. Thumbs up. Dum Dum.